It's easy to lose track of where I am when I am wearing the Vision Pro, and it's thrilling. I am on a FaceTime call with a colleague in San Francisco. I see her in 3D in front of my face, part of a sweeping landscape of apps and images laid out in front of me like an iPad exploded into space. After our call, I hang up and with the headset still on, turn a dial to draw back the virtual landscape, revealing the reality outside the Vision Pro. Our video team all around me to capture the experience. Worlds within worlds within worlds. I have dreamed of the future in VR and AR headsets for years, Oculus, Magic Leap, HoloLens, and countless others. But living in the Vision Pro for the past week has been one of the most complex experiences of all. It's one of the hardest products I have ever had to evaluate. Parts of it are stunning, others don't feel entirely finished. It's unbelievably expensive, $3,500 and up, and only in the US for now, but also full of futuristic parts at every turn. Did I mention my eyes animate on the outside of the headset's glass for everyone to see, like half submerged, half virtual parts of myself? Apple's big bet on the immersive future is also a big step into a new phase of devices that intertwine with the software we already use on our phones, tablets, and computers. The Vision Pro runs on a new operating system, Vision OS, but it is still essentially an iOS computer inside a mixed reality VR headset, with the benefits and design challenges of each but elevated with a whole bunch of new features and ideas. The headset is the best wearable display I have ever put on, but at its price and with so few Vision OS apps at launch, the Vision Pro isn't a device I would recommend to any of my friends or family. If you are in the immersive industry and can afford one, then that's another story. But for anyone else, I would recommend you get a free demo at an Apple store, marvel at its features, and wait and see. That said, I can't stop thinking about it. Also, I reviewed most of this in the video. I am still inside. There is a lot of pressure on the new Apple Vision Pro, Apple's long-awaited entry into the world of computers you wear on your face. Apple claims that the Vision Pro, which starts at $3,499, is the beginning of something called spatial computing, which basically boils down to running apps all around you. And the company's ad for it do not hedge that pressure even a little. They show people wearing the Vision Pro all the time. At work, doing laundry, playing with their kids. The ambition is enormous to layer apps and information over the real world to augment reality. There is a class of VR headsets capable of mixed reality that passes video which is captured with cameras on the outside to displays on the inside. Meta's Quest Pro and Quest 3 have mixed reality functions, and so do the HTC Vive XR Lite and Virtuo's high-end PC VR headsets. Apple's Vision Pro is the most advanced blend of mixed reality in a standalone device that I have ever experienced. The Vision Pro is started with cameras and sensors, multiple cameras on the outside, a LiDAR sensor and true depth camera, infrared sensors and more cameras underneath, and extra eye tracking cameras and sensors on the inside. There are no controllers. Every interaction is done with your eyes and hands, or via speaking to Siri using the built-in microphones. Hand and eye tracking even works in the dark. Light is needed for room tracking, but not for hand tracking. Lying in bed one night, I watched movies on my bedroom ceiling. Although the Vision Pro has its own apps, it runs many iOS apps too. It's hooked into iCloud as well as Apple services like iTunes, Apple TV Plus, and Arcade. There's an M2 chip inside which equates to roughly the same processor in the 13-inch MacBook Air or the last iPad Pro models. The display quality and the finest interface make the Vision Pro feel like it's in a whole other class, though the dual 4K micro OLED displays, a technology that will make its way to other headsets in the future, are rich, vibrant, and way above what competing devices offer. Apple's hand and eye tracking is always on and often fantastic. Also, the Vision Pro requires no room setup at all. The depth mapping and spatial awareness happen invisibly, something I haven't seen before either. As my colleague said, the Vision Pro looks like an iPhone merged with a Meta Quest. The outer part of the Vision Pro, all the processing and outer displays, has the aluminum and glass contours of an iPhone, but the top buttons, including a large rotating digital crown and a flat clickable button for Apple Pay and camera capture, are like an Apple Watch. It feels dense and I want to protect it from damage. The headsets required light shield and cushions resemble the spacers on VR headsets like the Quest, but they attach far more easily, magnetically snapping on and off. The side arms of the Vision Pro are where the speakers live in bubble-like buds that protects down to a wearer ears like the Quest. The head straps snap on easily and are now removed via a little tug on orange fabric pull tabs. It's a sleek design that has surprisingly comfy materials. The Vision Pro's box is big, but the Vision Pro itself is pretty small, about the same size as a Meta Quest 3. It's heavy too, approximately 1.3 pounds, and that's not including the battery pack compared to the roughly 1.1 pound Quest 3. The box is filled with accessories like two head straps for different fits, an extra face cushions, a proprietary battery with a cable, a cushioned front cover cozy for the headset's glass front, a USB-C 30-watt charging adapter, a USB-C cable, an Apple polishing cloth, and an instruction manual. Apple doesn't usually do instruction manuals, but the booklet is a guide to attaching the battery, adjusting the fit, and operating the headset. It's a sign that setting up and navigating this special computer is a whole new universe and not always intuitive. Unlike many VR headsets, Apple's Vision Pro doesn't work with glasses at all. That's a trend I have seen coming for years and it's upsetting. Instead, Apple requires prescription lens inserts made by Zeiss that cost anywhere from $99 to $149. Meta and other headset manufacturers also have prescription insert options. I have been using a pair of lenses with the Quest 3 made by Zenni. But most other VR headsets also have spacers that allow the wearer to wear glasses too. The Meta Quest Pro, for instance, allows glasses. The Zeiss lenses come in a cardboard sleeve along with a QR code card for setup. Scan the code with the headset's cameras and the device optimizes the displays for the lenses. The lenses snap in magnetically and they are easy to pop on and off. There are parts of the Vision Pro that feels like any other Apple device and parts that decidedly do not. First, I needed to adjust my head straps. The pre-attached solo knit headband feels like a paddle ski Google head strap stretching around the back of my head and tightening with a knob on the side. It's comfy at last, but after half an hour the headset feels top heavy and pushes in on my cheeks a bit. It's fine for short sessions though. The other head strap is a dual loop band that looks like the headband on my CPAP machine and tightens on the back and over the top of my head with Velcro. The weight balance is better. This is better fit for long work sessions. The battery cable to the Vision Pro is odd. It's a locking, unique circular attachment that needs to be slotted in at an angle and then turned to lock in place. It is to prevent losing power when using Vision Pro, but it also means you can't use a regular USB-C cable to power up or charge the headsets unless you route it through the Vision Pro's large, heavy battery, which weighs about 0.75 pounds. I just put the battery beside me and sometimes tuck it in my pocket. The fabric-covered cord to the battery, which isn't removable, is long enough to tuck nearby, but not long enough to snake across a room. Like an iPad or Mac, you can bring your iPhone near to the Vision Pro to start setting it up and it copies your account over easily. Familiar opt-ins are offered: Apple Pay, location services, and sharing data with Apple. Others are less familiar. An eye tracking setup like a video game has you stare at a ring of colored dots and tap your fingers to click on each one. The headset has me stretch my hands out to scan them. Then there is Persona setup, which scans your face into an uncanny avatar for FaceTime and also puts your eyes on the front of the headset. Welcome to the weirdness. But once that's done, a recognizable grid of apps appears. A lot of Vision OS feels familiar by design. I had this weird moment watching Ready Player One in 3D in the Vision Pro. I got a little teary. I thought about dreams versus reality. It was a theme I visited when former editor and I reviewed the Oculus Rift back in 2016. Now I am thinking of it again in a whole new way. The Vision Pro comes with its own drawbacks and limits all over the place, but it's also at its best a stunning look at the future. Do I believe in the destination of this mixed reality future? Yeah, I have been writing about it 10 years. I can see it coming. The Apple Vision Pro is a moment where the ecosystems are staring to finally arrive. The hardware is hitting levels of audiovisual quality that are truly remarkable and input systems are being reinvented. It's an exciting time and the Vision Pro won't be the only product in the landscape. However, it will likely be the most influential since the Oculus Rift. That said, it's clearly not a device you need to get on board with now. The Mac debuted 40 years ago this month, a coincidence that Apple seems well aware of. The Mac was the birth of modern computing, but few people had the first Mac. Will the Vision Pro be the first step forward modern spatial computing in mixed reality as we know it from now on? Maybe what really makes the Vision Pro seem futuristic isn't the display on the apps, it's the input. Eyes and hands. Other headsets have eye tracking and hand tracking, but none have the combination working as smoothly, subtly, and intuitively as the Vision Pro. But it is not the final version. Haptics is a missing piece, being able to feel feedback like on a phone or watch or with game controllers. I want more precise controls in 3D space, something fully multifunctional. I am not sure hand tracking and eye tracking alone can do all of that. Apple already has a haptic response wristband called the Apple Watch, which is starting to get its own gestures with double tap. There is an obvious connection there, but Apple hasn't connected those dots yet. Maybe something neural could be next, like what Meta's exploring. And with players like Samsung and Google coming, as well as a race towards smaller glasses-like devices down the road, there will be a lot more changes to come. My favorite things to do on the Quest, games and fitness, aren't on the Vision Pro much. I will still use my laptop, phone and iPad as my main computers for now, but I imagine a future version of the Vision Pro as something that could swallow them all up someday. Not today, but I do feel right now that I want to dive back in. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.